Welcome back to IGN Live from Gamescom 2018. It's time to check in with all things Bethesda. Pete Hines is here to fill us in. Pete, welcome back to the IGN stage.
Good to be back.
You guys recently had QuakeCon.
We did.
You really went deep on Doom Eternal there, because you revealed at E3, gave us sort of a bigger look at QuakeCon. I think it was Tim from your team who said they're not just making a sequel to Doom 2016, you're building a Doom universe.
Yep.
Can you sort of elaborate on that?
Well, I think Marty's point was that it's not just about this one game or maybe what comes in the box when it ships, but thinking about all of the ways in which that then manifests itself and carries on after launch, the way in which we're thinking about the game and being able to add pieces on and give players new content, new stuff to do after launch.
I see. So set up Eternal for us. We know it takes place at least partially on Earth, but not entirely, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It is part of what you're doing, but you're going to go to a number of other locations as well. You get to learn a lot more about the Doomslayer, what's going on in this world. For the folks who are into that and want to know more sort of about the backstory and the lore and some of that other stuff, you definitely get that. If you just want to kill demons, there's a whole bunch more demons and a whole bunch more ways to kill them.
Well, there's also new, sort of new ways to maneuver around the environment, right?
Yeah, there's, as you saw, there's the shotgun now has a meat hook that you can throw out and grab enemies to either pull you towards them, or as you saw earlier on and coming up here, you can actually pull yourself not just to them, but past them, turn around, shoot them. There's now a double jump that allows you to move even further through the world. There's a new mantling mechanic for moving through the environment. You now also have a blade that's attached, so some of the finishing moves like that one, you'll now see you've got a blade that comes out of your gauntlet. He spent some of the time since the last game coming up with some cool new stuff for his armor. So yeah, there's a lot going on. New weapons, lots of new demons. Even the demons that we had in previous games getting updates. So there's a lot to take in.
I would guess that making a game like this is more fun than making a realistic shooter, because there's just so much crazy stuff in here, and you get to really just go wild with what if we do this? What if we did this?
We embrace the ridiculous. You can see here as you're playing through that the destructible demons is now a big thing. So rather than demons just taking damage, you'll notice that he's blowing off parts of them or damaging different parts of some of the larger ones, so you can actually see the effects. There's the meat hook, but you'll see as he's hitting them, the different parts go off, and having a lot of fun with that. Obviously, the glory kills is a big part when your demons get in these states. Coming up with new awesome ways to finish them off has been a lot of fun to see the team do as well.
So how would you compare Doom Eternal to Doom 2016? Are you really sort of trying to double down on everything that made that game?
Yeah, I mean, sort of the stated goals were, well, people love the demons, so we need a lot more, so we've got twice as many. People love the fast, aggressive nature of the Doomslayer, and so the idea was, well, let's make him even more fast and aggressive. And so, again, things like the meat hook, the blade that he has on his gauntlet, his ability to traverse through the world even more quickly and in cool new ways. All of those are a big part. And then obviously, hell on Earth and taking you to new environments. People have been asking, like, hey, when can we see Earth in a Doom game? That's all part of what this game is trying to deliver on. Yeah,
we're seeing Earth here. Have you talked about what other environments will be blasting our way through?
It'll be a mix of stuff. We showed off some of a gore nest, but ways to go still. So we'll be showing off a lot more of the different environments and locations you'll be visiting. But we think folks are going to love it. Here's some of the mantling stuff that you can see in terms of moving through the environment and getting to other parts of the map.
And this game is also coming to Switch, right?
Yeah, we confirmed in the panel that we had later at QuakeCon. Obviously coming to PS4, Xbox, and PC, but also planning on bringing this to the Switch as well.
That's very exciting for me. I know myself and a lot of people out there are just really excited and appreciative that you guys are supporting the Switch.
It was look, it was hugely popular. All the stuff that we did, I think folks enjoyed and appreciated, and we wanted to to make sure to say right up front that this is a title we want to bring to the Switch, and we think it's going to be another awesome experience.
Yeah, very cool. So Doom Eternal is coming 2019. Are you ready to narrow down that release window at all? Or?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Sometime.
Yeah, sometime
next year. Okay. We definitely look forward to that. You guys also, for Fallout 76, a game that's coming, it's a little bit nearer on the horizon. You guys put out a new trailer for Gamescom this week that I think sort of focuses on the building, on the camp system. Is that right?
Yeah, it's you know, we did these Vault Tech in you know, kind of in the tone of Vault Tech, explaining some of the mechanics and so forth, and so we released one this week, yesterday, here at Gamescom, that just goes into a little bit more detail on the camp system and the importance of it. And basically, the idea is, you know a little bit from Fallout 4 about how settlement building works and why it can be cool and fun. But camp takes that to another level in terms of being able to take everything that you build and move it around the map from location to location. So that's something we think folks are going to enjoy. But again, it is an optional thing. It's not something like you must build a camp. If you want to, you can. If you don't, well, there's crafting places you can find all over the world. There's places to store your stuff all over the world. And so ultimately, it's still for you to decide what you want this game to be. Play it by yourself. Play it with others. Be into settlement building or not, doesn't matter. Do whatever you want. Well,
as I understand it, the idea behind camp is that it's sort of like a portable storage unit. Yeah, that stores all of your crafting stuff.
It's a mobile platform for building your base, and then when you decide to move somewhere else, or you get into, you decide to go, let's say you've been building your camp and you've built some stuff, and then you decide you want to go and play with me. Again, the game doesn't do servers in terms of, oh, I'm going to play on this server or that server. It's just spinning up instances of the world and putting people together, in pretty small numbers. So if you decide to play with me and you jump into the world and somebody else has their camp where your camp was, you can just go to a different part and go, well, I'm gonna put it here, as opposed to like, oh, well, I can't build here, or we both have our camps together. So it makes it really easy to manage that. Once you jump in, somebody else has a thing there, you go, oh, I'm just gonna pop mine down here instead.
If someone were to launch a nuke at you, do you have enough time to pack up your camp and move it somewhere else?
I don't know the answer to that because it's not happened to me yet. I do know that when a nuke goes off, you get notified there's a nuke coming into your area. You should probably get the hell out of the way.
That's
helpful. You can definitely do.
That's helpful.
And you can also, at any point, like when you're traveling around the world, if you find a cool spot, you can just go move my camp here. It's not like you have to go back to yours and then gather it up. You can just, there's a button when you pull up your Pip-Boy. It just says move camp, and you have to pay, some amount of camps. But you just go, I'll pay you 10 caps, move my camp here, and bang, there's your camp. So.
Well, I know a lot of people liked the building in Fallout 4. Did that sort of inform your decision to really lean into that with 76?
Yeah, well, and keep in mind that the whole setup for 76 is you're a hand-selected person who's been put into Vault 76. And the sole purpose of Fallout 76 was to release people into the world to help rebuild the world. So the whole idea of building and rebuilding is in fact tied into the reason for your Vault's existence. Like, you are the people who are supposed to come out into this wasteland and start rebuilding America. Well, you should be able to build if you're going to rebuild. And so that kind of fits in. But now there's a lot more flexibility. Previously in Fallout 4, we established places like this is where you build a settlement. Camp is much more open. I mean, it's a massive world anyway, but you just sort of go around and look for places that you want to set up where you want to build.
One new detail that I learned from that trailer is you can sell items to other players.
Yeah, you can trade with anybody in the world if you want to. There's also vendors just in the world. So again, like, well, if you're playing by yourself, or, well, I want to avoid people because the whole stranger danger, they might want to shoot me. There's also just vendors in the world that you can buy and sell stuff to. But yeah, you could just decide, I'm going to set up a settlement and I'm going to be a vendor. I'm going to repair stuff for people, or I'm going to buy junk off of them and so forth, and just trade with people that want to trade with you.
And then we learned a little bit about how that PvP works at QuakeCon, I think. At any time on the map you encounter another person, someone can shoot a volley shot, right?
Yeah.
And then the other player basically has a choice whether they want to
shoot them, hit them, whatever.
Or,
basically, at that point, you decide, is this a fight that I want to get into? The first couple of times it happened to me, it was more of a, because the area I was in also had creatures, and so at first I was like, well, maybe they were shooting at, a scorched or something, and it accidentally hit me, and I would move, and like, no, they're definitely trying to kill me, and then it was like, okay, do I want to get into this or not? But then the idea is that the thing that we want to avoid is the abuse of it. So we want to make sure that people can't just constantly track you down and grief you, and if they do, what's the punishment for that? Well, as Todd explained at QuakeCon, basically you get marked as a murderer in the game. So when you pull up the map, you can see other people who are in the world. You can see where they are, and you get marked as a big red circle that says this person is a murderer, and you can't see where anybody else in the game is anymore. Okay. So everybody knows where you are and knows that you're a murderer, but you can't see where anybody else is, and you have a bounty on your head, and that bounty comes out of your pocket. So the game doesn't say, okay, well, you killed him, here's some stuff. Like, you've now set yourself up to be a target for everybody else in the game as a bad guy or gal or whatever, and if they take you out, then the money comes out. So there is a risk. If you're going to be this lifestyle, if you really want to be a raider, then well, when they kill you, they're taking your money.
Do you anticipate people choosing to play as a murderer as sort of like a hard mode?
I anticipate people, I mean, we expect all things. You're going to put millions of people into a game. Who the hell knows who's going to do what? But certainly some number of people are going to go, I want to be a raider. I'm going to get some folks together, and we're going to be raiders and play that way. And yeah, it definitely is a tougher way to play the game.
All right, before we let you go, I want to touch on Elder Scrolls Legends. Announced at E3 that is coming to consoles, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch as well. Any updates on when that'll arrive?
Still coming along. First, as we said a month or so ago, we are working on a brand new client that's been built from the ground up, and it's going to do a lot of things. It's going to set us up for a lot of features that the community has been asking for. So in-game tournaments that players can actually put together and fire off. A whole bunch of new features. Our first version of new UI, we want to continue to grow and update the UI, and it's the basis for all of those console versions. So we have to get that out first before we can really start making progress on the consoles. And at QuakeCon, we announced Isle of Madness, which is the new set that's coming out, themed around Sheogorath. Likewise, we need to get the new update out before we release a new set. But soon. It's coming. We're making progress every day, and can't wait to get that out so we can start moving on with a lot of the other stuff we've really been wanting to do with the game.
Yeah, I bet. You guys have taken a pretty hardline stance on crossplay on PS4. Right. You basically said it's non-negotiable.
In fairness, not specific to any one platform, but this is a game that supports both crossplay and cross-platform progression, which is something that from the very beginning we thought was really important. So regardless of where you play the game, if you have a Bethesda.net account, you take all of your stuff with you. If you were playing on your phone and your phone dies, you can flip open your laptop, log into the game, and continue the match that you were in. Those things we feel like are essentials for the way that people experience the game. We don't want to start walling off different versions where it doesn't work like that. So we continue to talk to our platform partners, all of them, about that. But we really feel like both of those things are essential for the way that Legends was created.
Cool. Well, Pete, we always really appreciate your time. Thanks for giving us updates, and we are super excited to play all these games.
Thanks very much. Have a good Gamescom.
Stay tuned. More to come from Gamescom 2018 on IGN Live after this.